I read through hundreds of BYD owner reviews, comments, complaints, forum-style posts, and Australian buyer stories. And after a while, the same pattern kept repeating. Not one problem, not one angry owner, not one unlucky car. A pattern. People buy a BYD because on paper, it looks almost impossible to beat. The price is sharp, the equipment list is huge, the interior feels more expensive than the badge, the warranty gives confidence, the battery story sounds strong. And compared with Tesla, Toyota, Hyundai, Kia, or the old diesel brands, BYD often looks like the smart money choice. That is why BYD is selling so fast in Australia. But when you stop reading the brochures and start reading the owners, the story becomes more complicated. Because a lot of owners are not saying, "I hate the car." That is the important part. They are saying something more interesting. "I actually like the car, but I wish somebody warned me about this before I bought it." That sentence is the real video. So this is not a BYD hit piece, and it is not a fanboy defense video either. If you want simple, emotional shouting, there are plenty of places for that. This is a buyer's guide based on what real owners keep repeating. I looked at reviews around BYD's Australian lineup, especially the Atto 3, Sealion 6, Sealion 7, and Shark 6. I also checked recent Australian media coverage, owner review sites, social posts, and our own channel analytics to see what people are actually watching. And the data is clear. The videos that perform best on this channel are not random EV news. They are the owner warning videos, the ones where we slow down, read the reviews, and explain what the pattern means. Our biggest recent example was about buying a BYD in Australia and what nobody warned the owner about. That topic did more than 70,000 views, brought in hundreds of subscribers, and had far stronger watch time than most normal EV news videos. That tells me something. Australian buyers do not just want specs, they want protection from regret. So let's talk about the 5 things that keep coming up in BYD owner reviews and what they actually mean before you sign. The first problem is not the car itself. It is the gap between the car BYD sells and the support network behind it. This comes up again and again. Owners often praise the vehicle. They like the value. They like the smooth driving. They like the battery range. They like the screens, the equipment, the quiet cabin, and the feeling that they got more car for less money. Then something goes wrong. A software issue, a sensor warning, a charging problem, a missing feature after an update, a telematics fault, a part that needs replacing, a service booking that gets pushed around, and suddenly the question changes. It is no longer, is the BYD good value? It becomes, who is actually going to fix this? How long will it take? And will they clearly tell me what is happening? That is where many complaints begin. With older brands, buyers are used to a large dealer network, parts pipelines, independent mechanics, and decades of local repair experience. That does not mean Toyota, Ford, Hyundai, or Kia service is perfect. Far from it. Owners complain about them too. But BYD in Australia is still building its support maturity while sales are exploding. That creates tension, because a fast-growing car brand can sell vehicles quicker than it can build trust in aftersales. That is exactly what owner reviews are warning about. The car can be good, the service experience can still be frustrating. And for a buyer, both matter. If your car works perfectly, BYD can feel like the best decision you made. If your car develops a fault and nobody gives you clear answers for weeks, the cheap price starts to feel less cheap. That is the first pattern. The second pattern is software. Modern EVs and plug-in hybrids are not just cars. They are rolling computers with tires. That sounds exciting until the software becomes the part you are arguing about. Across owner discussions, BYD's software experience gets mixed feedback. Some people like the large screens and regular updates. Others complain about bugs, confusing menus, features changing after updates, driver assistance behavior, app reliability, or warning messages that do not feel well explained. This is especially important because buyers often compare BYD with Tesla. Tesla has its own problems, but one thing Tesla trained buyers to expect is software polish, fast updates, deep app control, a car that feels like it was built around software from the beginning. BYD is strong at batteries, manufacturing, and value. But in owner reviews, software polish is not always the thing people praise first. That does not mean the cars are bad. It means a buyer needs to understand what kind of compromise they are making. A BYD may give you more hardware for the money, more equipment, more cabin features, more metal for the price. But if the app, the infotainment, the driver assistance, or the service communication around software faults frustrates you, then the spec sheet will not comfort you much. The owner review lesson is simple. Test the technology like you plan to live with it. Do not just sit in the showroom and say, "Big screen, nice." Connect your phone. Try the app if possible. Check the navigation. Try the driver assistance on a proper test drive. Ask what updates have changed recently. Ask how software problems are handled. Ask if a feature is guaranteed or if it can change with an update. Because some owners are not angry about motors or batteries. They are angry because the car feels unfinished in small daily ways. Small daily problems become big problems when you meet them every morning. The third pattern is charging and real-world range. This one needs a careful explanation because many EV arguments online are lazy. Some people pretend every EV is useless because charging infrastructure is not perfect. That is not true. Other people pretend charging never matters if you have a home charger. That is also not true. The truth sits in the middle. Many BYD owners with home charging are very happy. If you charge overnight, drive normal daily distances, and rarely depend on remote public chargers, an EV can feel easier than petrol. You leave home with range. You avoid fuel stations. Running costs can be excellent. But reviews change when the owner depends on public charging, drives regional routes, lives in an apartment, rents, tows, does long highway trips, or expects the advertised range to behave like a petrol tank. That is where disappointment appears. Australia is a difficult market for EVs because distances are big, heat can be harsh, and charging quality depends heavily on where you live. A BYD can be good. The charging network around it can still make ownership annoying. That is why owner reviews often say two things at the same time. They say the car is efficient and cheap around town. Then they say long trips need planning, public chargers can be unreliable, and real-world range is not the same as the number in the brochure. Both can be true. For the Shark 6, the story is slightly different because it is a plug-in hybrid ute. Owners like that. It can drive on electric power for daily use, but still has petrol backup for longer trips. That reduces range anxiety. But even there, the reviews show nuance. If you charge regularly, the fuel economy can be excellent for a ute. If you do not charge, or you use it hard on highways, towing, or long trips, it becomes more like a hybrid ute with different compromises. This matters because some buyers hear plug-in hybrid and think it is magic. It is not magic. It is a tool. If your lifestyle fits the tool, it can be brilliant. If your lifestyle does not fit it, the numbers will not look like the marketing. That is the owner review lesson. Before buying any BYD EV or plug-in hybrid, map your real life. Where will you charge? How often? At what cost? What happens if the charger near you is broken? How many highway kilometers do you actually do? Do you tow? Do you live in an apartment? Can you install a wall box? If the answer is clear, BYD ownership can make a lot of sense. If the answer is vague, do not let the salesman's range number make the decision for you. The fourth pattern is parts, repairs, and waiting. This is where a cheap car can become emotionally expensive. A lot of BYD buyers are not scared of the battery. They are scared of what happens after an accident, a warning light, a failed module, or a part delay. This is not only a BYD issue. It affects many modern EV brands, especially newer brands growing quickly in new markets. But BYD is selling at such a pace that the question becomes urgent. Can the repair network keep up with the sales network? Because owners do not judge a brand only when the car is new and shiny. They judge it when something breaks. If a part is available quickly, the dealer communicates properly, and the car is fixed with minimal drama, the owner moves on. If the part is delayed, nobody gives clear timelines, the car sits waiting, or the owner feels ignored, that story becomes a review, a comment, a complaint, and eventually a reputation problem. This is one reason owner-based videos go viral. People do not only want to know how the car drives on launch day, they want to know what happens on the worst day. What happens when the car is not behaving? What happens when the app stops working? What happens when the body shop needs parts? What happens when the dealer says they are waiting for approval? What happens when the owner has paid good money but feels trapped between the dealer, distributor, and manufacturer. That is where trust is made or destroyed. For BYD, the next few years in Australia are not just about selling more cars. They are about proving that the ownership ecosystem can handle the volume. If they fix that, the brand becomes even stronger. If they do not, the reviews will keep saying the same thing: good car, painful support. The fifth pattern is resale value and long-term confidence. This one is quieter, but it matters. When people buy a Toyota or a Tesla, they have some idea how the used market will treat them. Not perfectly, but there is history. With BYD, many Australian buyers are still guessing. The brand is growing fast, prices are aggressive, new models arrive quickly, battery technology is improving, discounts can appear. Competitors are coming from China, Korea, Europe, and America. That makes buyers nervous about depreciation. If BYD keeps cutting prices or launching better-equipped models quickly, early buyers may worry their car loses value faster than expected. Again, this is not unique to BYD. Tesla owners have felt this pain too. EV resale values can move sharply when prices change, incentives change, battery tech improves, or public perception shifts. But for BYD, resale confidence is connected to service confidence. A used buyer will ask, is the car reliable? Is the battery healthy? Are parts available? Is the warranty easy to use? Are software updates stable? Is the dealer network good? Do owners recommend the brand after 2 or 3 years? Those answers will decide how strong BYD resale becomes. Right now, owner reviews show plenty of enthusiasm, but also some caution. That is why the smartest buyer should not only ask, can I afford this BYD today? They should ask, will I still feel good about this decision 3 years from now? Now let's put the complaints in perspective, because it would be dishonest to pretend the reviews are all negative. They are not. Many BYD owners are genuinely happy. They like the value, they like the comfort, they like the quiet drive, they like the running costs, they like having something different from the usual brands. They like that BYD is forcing the market to improve. And honestly, that last point is important. Without companies like BYD, a lot of established brands would still be charging too much for under-equipped EVs. BYD has made the Australian market more competitive. That benefits buyers. But strong competition does not remove buyer responsibility. A cheap price does not cancel service risk. A long warranty does not automatically mean a fast repair. A big battery does not guarantee perfect real-world range. A beautiful spec sheet does not guarantee daily satisfaction. And a happy owner in Sydney does not mean the same experience for a buyer in a regional area with fewer service options. That is the real lesson from reading the reviews. BYD is not one simple story. It is not BYD is terrible. It is not BYD is perfect. It is this. BYD is offering some of the strongest value in Australia, but the ownership experience depends heavily on support, software, charging access, and how well your lifestyle fits the car. So if you're thinking of buying one, here's the practical checklist I would use. First, do not only test drive the car. Test drive the ownership. Call the service center before you buy. Ask how long normal bookings take. Ask where warranty work is done. Ask what happens if a part is not available. Ask whether your local dealer can handle EV-specific faults or if the car needs to go somewhere else. Second, search owner reviews for your exact model, not just BYD generally. An Atto 3 owner, a Sealion 7 owner, a Seal owner, and a Shark 6 owner may have very different experiences. Do not mix them all into one emotional conclusion. Third, check charging based on your suburb and routes. Not Australia in theory, your life in reality. If you can charge at home and mostly commute, your experience may be excellent. If you depend on public chargers or travel remote routes, plan carefully. Fourth, ask about software and app support. If the car has a feature you care about, confirm whether it works now, not whether it might work one day. If an update changes something, ask how support handles it. Fifth, understand Australian consumer law. A warranty is not your only protection. If a product has a major fault, repeated failure, or cannot be repaired in a reasonable time, buyers may have rights beyond what a dealer casually says. I'm not giving legal advice, but I am saying, do not let vague answers be the end of the conversation. Sixth, look at resale with clear eyes. If you plan to keep the car long-term, depreciation may not matter as much. If you plan to sell in 2 or 3 years, price cuts and fast model updates matter a lot. And finally, separate online noise from repeated patterns. One angry comment means little. 100 similar comments means something. That is why review reading videos are useful. They are not about one complaint. They are about the shape of the ownership story. And right now, the shape of the BYD Australia story looks like this. The cars are often impressive. The price is often hard to beat. The battery and drivetrain story is not the main fear for many owners. The bigger fear is what happens after the sale. Service, software, parts, communication, charging reality, long-term confidence. If BYD improves those areas, it could become one of the most trusted brands in Australia, not just one of the fastest growing. But if the support experience does not catch up with the sales numbers, owner reviews will keep doing what they are doing now, praising the cars, then warning the next buyer. And that warning is exactly why these videos matter, because the best time to learn from owner reviews is before you buy, not after you are stuck waiting for a fix. So if you own a BYD in Australia, I want to know your honest experience, not the fanboy version, not the hate version, the useful version. What model do you own? What went right? What went wrong? How was the service? Would you buy another one? Because the next buyer is reading those comments right now. And one honest owner comment can save someone from the wrong decision or give them the confidence to make the right one.